7 p.m. Tuesday, May 12th meeting, regular meeting. Okay. Should I start over?
Yeah, if you don't mind, Ed.
Okay. It is
That's
now
much better.
7
Yeah, it
o'clock
was a little
on
hard hearing
Tuesday,
you.
May 12th, room 205. My name is Ed Nagy, Chairman of the Southbury Conservation Commission. With us, we have Richmond Jones, Cindy Inglis, Dave Blursh, Rob Isbell. Everybody hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They asked that when someone speaks, they have to announce their name, okay? When you respond, okay? Gary wanted to do the Kettletown Road subdivision first, only because he can't make the full meeting. So, I'm not sure if Gary's, have you heard from Gary? Has anybody heard from Gary?
no,
No.
I
No.
did not.
Okay. All right, if he pops in, maybe we'll jump to Kettletown. So let's go to the first one. Minutes of March 10th of 2020. Is there a motion for the minutes? Is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 10th?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Second?
I'll second Rob Isbell. Second, Rob Isbell.
Okay, Richmond made the motion, Rob made the second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? No, okay. Treasury report. Is that you, Rob?
Ed, I think you have to do a roll call when you want to get when you do a motion.
Roll call vote.
You want to do a roll call vote? Okay, Betsy said we should. That's right, we can't see you. We can't see everybody, so,
Yeah.
all right, good idea. So for the minutes, we'll go back in. Richmond for the minutes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Sandy?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes,
Rob?
Yes.
And Ed's a yes. Okay, that's unanimous. All right. Treasurer's report?
Sandy, you got the number, because I didn't have the anymore.
I believe it's the same number as last month, or the March 10th.
Yeah, it looks like it's 18,905. No, I'm sorry, that was the budget.
I thought it was like 600 and something.
Balance, $690.16.
What was that again, 600?
$690.16.
Does this sound right? The
I didn't,
vegetation treatment is 11,000.
okay, so that's encumbering, okay, you're encumbering the 11,000 and change.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I'm making sure, it didn't sound right, the 600, so taking out the 11,800, or going from memory here, we have 609 left.
690. But
Repeat, please.
690 was paid to Woodbury tax collector.
I can't hear anybody.
I know, I'm still looking, I'm sorry.
Oh, sure, no
I thought
problem.
Dave was
I
gonna
just
do
didn't
it.
hear anybody.
I couldn't make heads or tails of that.
Okay, the original budget was 18,900, 11,008.
Right.
I'd like to table this because it's just not clear to me, and I would have to check it to make sure that it's correct.
Okay,
So, I can get back to, we can either do it the next meeting, or I can,
okay, there's, as long as the money for, the funds for the weed control. wasn't-
yes, that's in there, but I don't see
Right, we signed those contracts.
anything for Bennett Park.
Right, we
So
signed those,
I'm not sure how to read this. This is a different report than what I used to get.
okay.
Okay,
We only had those two bills, so we'll just hold off till the next meeting.
okay.
All right. Is there any correspondence? I have none.
I have none either.
Okay, old business, Transylvania Brook Estates. I know Sandy and I attended the zoning board a few weeks back in March, and we gave the commission's recommendation, and they have not acted on that yet. The zoning board has not acted on the final determination yet.
This is Sandy. I did contact zoning, and she said that their next meeting is scheduled for June 10th, and she's got something ready for them to approve, and we may see results after June 10th.
June 10th,
Right.
okay. Okay, next, go to the next item, Bennett Park.
Okay, I've been working, well, I haven't been working on the garden.
This is Sandy.
I'm sorry, this is Sandy.
you're
Because of the
Sandy.
pandemic, we haven't been able to do any burning or anything of the shrub piles that I put together. So I talked to John Cattell, and he came in on Friday, and they removed all of the debris that I had piled up. There were 2 piles, and they did a good job on it. So those are gone, and I will continue working on the garden this week. One thing I would like to say is I've been taking pictures of wildflowers that are growing at Bennett Park, and I talked to John Cattell today. I don't know if it's possible for us to start tagging things like shrubs, wildflower areas, where my worry is that when the guys come in and mow, sometimes they'll take something out when they're not aware of it. They had done something, they had taken out a bush in the parking lot. I'm sure they didn't know what it was at the time. And I'm hoping it grows back, and if I can tag things, then they will know not to cut it. I don't know what you all feel about that, and I don't even know what kind of tags I would use. But I'm wondering if you guys would be for that, would be okay with that, or not okay with it?
This is Dave. I would be for that. Even if you got little things that stuck in the ground that said this is such and such. Because a lot of people it's a learning thing too. For people at the park to see what some of these things are. They might have them in their yard or something and not have a clue what it is.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea, Dave.
That was Richmond. All right, Ed here, I think that's a great idea, because there are various people who run those mowers, and they have summer help. So I know in some places they put little signs up, do not mow the wildflowers. Some of my other maintenance people in other towns, I see that. So I think it's like Dave said, it's a learning curve. There must be something that other town use or can purchase, the little special flags or something that will notify people to stay out.
Okay, then I'm getting the consensus is go ahead and do something. So I will start working on, I think that's a good idea, Ed, just to put do not mow wildflowers, that kind of stuff up. So I'll work on that, and I'll get back to you then.
Okay, thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Next, Janie Pierce Park. It was reported to the, couple members of the commission of, what turned out to be a neighbor was at the park with, excavation equipment. And, photos were taken. The photos were turned over to the police department. And, I met the police officer out there, I guess it was back in late March. And then went to town hall, and the town hall is gonna take some notification to the adjoining owner to, once again, stay off the town's park. The recommendation we've came up with so far is to have the adjoining property line surveyed and put some monumentation or pins in. Once that is done, I think several of us go out there and put some signs up notifying everybody where the property line is to Jenny Pierce Park. Turns out, not only the owner's been digging on Jenny Pierce Park, there's also been using it as a parking area for an excess pickup truck that's been there for many years, appears. An old snowmobile trailer that's been there for many years in the weeds. And some pieces of steel also piled there. So, and that area has been maintained by that neighbor. Again, for a few years, we had an agreement not to do it, and the neighbor agreed to it, but now apparently he's back at it. So a letter will be sent, or has been sent, to the adjoining owner to basically stay off town property with equipment.
Scott Graham.
Scott, that's you. Welcome.
Is now joining.
Welcome,
I
Scott.
showed up.
Scott, you there?
Hello. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. That's, Scott joined us at 7:12. Okay, the rules are when you go to speak, Scott, say your name first, so for the record, they know who said what. Okay? Anything
Scott Graham.
else on Jenny Pierce Park? I did walk the park, and the Public Works Department did a great job fixing the dam area and taking some of those vegetation out was supposed to be done a few years ago, and looks great. So if you have a chance, go out and walk it. Big improvement.
This is Sandy. I
Go ahead.
did walk the park too on the dams. They look fantastic. So I think, kudos to Public Works for doing a job well done.
I happened to see Ed again here, I happened to see the town crew a few weeks ago, and I pulled over and told the crew that was at the site what a good job they did. Anything else on Janie Pierce Park?
This is Sandy again. Nothing to report on the lake so far.
Did everybody, Ed here again, did everybody catch the front page of the Voices a few weeks ago?
No.
Negative. Scott,
The front of the page, when I was out there, I saw the sign down, laying down on the ground. I took a picture of it. But the Beaver Loop Trail sign was on a tree, like a 4-inch birch tree. And the beavers cut down the tree across the park, across the path. So that made the front page of the Voices a few weeks ago. I thought that was quite cute. So the beavers don't want us.
Oh, good news, Ed. We need good news.
So the beavers don't want us in their area, on their trail. Okay, Little Noah Cove. Rob, I guess you were out there. Can you give a report on Little Noah Cove?
Yeah. So I think shortly after the scheduled park cleanup date, I went to the main path down, and I leaf blowed the whole path clear and weed whacked the whole, I guess you would call it like a field down there. I would like to see those docks moved. They're taking up over 90% of the beach there, and there's just a little tiny alleyway to drag your kayak through. Yeah, I don't see how that is serving the town any good, having those docks on the beach there. They've been there for 2 years now. They haven't moved.
All right, Ed here, I believe as we discussed earlier, where the docks are, how far from the water are they?
They're on the town, the little beach there. It's the only beach on Lake Willow that the town owns.
No, the town only owns to the 210 contour line. The 210 contour line is up by the gazebo. So are the docks pushed up by the gazebo, or they're down like within 10 feet of the shore?
They are further down than the gazebo.
So they're down gradient of the
So do I have to
gazebo.
Do I have to contact First Light to get those moved, or?
Correct.
I just,
You're right.
I just don't understand.
What appears to me like in the past, the docks are on First Light property, and the contact there, unless it's changed, is Brian Wood, and his office is up in New Milford.
Is now joining.
I'm sorry, Gary.
Ed, I'm on.
Yeah, New Milford.
I didn't have the right
First
number
Light.
dial to get in for the ID number.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
was my problem.
Okay, so Gary joined us.
Gary's on.
I'm in.
Okay, so Gary, the rules are when you go to speak, you have to say your name for the record, so it's on the tape. Okay, so as far as Illinois Cove, you got the contact Brian Wood. He's up in New Milford.
Yep.
He's last time I
New Milford
knew a
First
few
Light.
months ago, he was the contact for First Light that handles this area.
What's his position there, or?
I think like land use manager or something like that. But he's the one that issues all the permits for the work along the lakes.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on Illinois Cove?
Other than that, the wooden chip path that you guys told us to use last year for launching the kayaks, the neighbor there now says that's his property and doesn't want us using it.
Right. From the driveway, the first portion, which I don't have a distance, but I don't know if it's 50 feet or 70 feet or more, that is on the adjoining property. Then it goes into town property a short distance, then it converts to the First Light property. So only a small part of the wood chip path is on the open space.
Okay, so I should tell people not to use the wood chip path for anything?
Does the owner have any signs up?
On the dock, there's private property signs, but that's the neighbor across the street's dock.
Right, so I'm not gonna tell anybody they can use.
This is Scott. The owner across the stream there is the one that owns that little piece of the ramp of the walkway.
Correct,
Slam.
correct. So I wouldn't,
Okay, we'll stay off of it.
so I would not recommend anybody trespassing somebody else's land.
Okay.
I think we could do in the future is build our own path right along the property line of the open space to get down that same area. And then it goes from the town open space to the First Light, which then is the water. Okay,
Sounds good.
okay, I do have a map, not with me, but I do have a map of that property. And I believe the map is also filed in the town clerk's office. And there is a concrete monument down by the brook near a large tree that sticks up. It's easy to find. Okay, park cleanup, is there anything other than it was canceled back in April?
Yeah, just wanted to say it was canceled due to COVID-19 quarantine.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Okay, we're gonna go to new business, item F, new business, Kettletown Road subdivision, 1.7 acre open space proposal. Everybody should have gotten by email, the plans for this. It's located at 1511 Kettletown Road, and Betsy's putting up,
We're having a little issue with the photos are flashing, not sure why.
you can maybe do one at a time, maybe?
Yeah, it should be one at a time. I have them in here separately, but for some reason they all,
Conflicting each other?
yeah,
okay.
we had it
It's
happen
giving
last.
us a little show.
Yes,
Or it'll give you a seizure, one of the two.
or a headache. When I mailed out that, last week, the description of this, I suggested go to the town GIS website. Was anybody else able to do that?
Yep.
Sorry.
Scott said you were able
Sandy,
to,
Yes, I did too.
and Sandy was?
Gary here, I did not go to the website, but I walked the other property years ago and know the general lay of the land up there from the brook, heading up the hill.
Yeah, more than 10 years ago, I don't have the exact date, more than 10 years ago, the piece to the north of the west, I guess it's more west of this proposed piece, was about 21 acres of open space from a subdivision extraction. I know several of us walked it, I guess Gary was there also. It's basically all wooded, a side hill, no any wetland. It's just basically just not a steep side hill, no rock outcroppings per se. And this piece they're proposing is just to the southeast corner of the 21 acres. And I guess we're looking for a motion to accept this. What basically we do here is we make a recommendation to the planning commission, and then the planning commission has the official action, takes official action on it. And once if they agree with it, then it goes to the selectmen, and they may or may not then put it under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission. Did everybody get the proposal I had for a draft copy, draft document?
Yes, I did.
Yes, Rob Isbell.
Okay.
Yes, Sandy. I,
Yeah, if it's one, everything that Sandy sent me, yeah, I got it.
Gary here, I also got the draft of what you had, Ed.
Okay. So did anybody not get this draft copy? So everybody read it?
Richmond got it because I sent it to him. I gave it to him.
So everybody read it? If everybody read it, we can just make a motion, somebody can make a motion to act on this, or I can read it if I have to. Need to.
This is Dave. I got a question.
Sure.
Ed McGrath has been a longtime customer of mine, so should I abstain from this?
We have a yeah, I guess to play it safe, Dave, you can just, abstain because of possible, because
Yeah, better to, be sure than be sorry later.
well, we have enough members here to act on this, so if you just abstain, I think we'll be okay.
I'll motion to accept Rob Isbell.
When in doubt, basically the rule is, wasn't, when in doubt, would you abstain or withdraw? Okay, anybody want,
Okay, could
anybody
you-
want to make a motion?
Please, state the motion so I can hear it, please.
Rob Isbell, I'll make a motion to accept.
I think we need to have it a little bit more clearer as to what we're accepting.
Oh, the 1.6 acre parcel?
A little hard to hear, so I'm gonna basically state that Rod's making a motion to recommend to the planning commission on acceptance of the open space parcel. from Edward McGrath on 1511 Kettletown Road, with the requirements of, as set forth in the document dated May 12th. Is that correct, Rob?
Correct.
Is there a second?
Gary, I'll second.
Either one, whatever.
So Rob made the motion, Gary second. Any discussion? Any further discussion?
This is Gary again, just with, what you stated about the medallions and make sure they place them along the property lines. Make sure that's included as part of the motion.
Well, we're referring to the document. If you want to, well, I guess to make it easy, I'll just read the thing, so it's clear. All right, the condition on recommend for acceptance on this parcel at 1511 Kettletown Road is the open space boundaries need to be delineated by the applicant with the Conservation Commission medallions on pressure-treated wood or similar posts. The Conservation Commission can supply the medallions and guidance on where to install them. Each sign shall be visual from each adjoining sign. All corners of the open space parcel shall be iron pinned and at intermediate points along long distances in accordance with the state of Connecticut recognized surveying standards. That's the document. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll do a roll call. Okay, Richmond?
Aye.
Sandy?
Aye.
Dave?
Abstain?
Rob?
Aye.
And Ed is an aye.
Hey, what about me?
What about Gary?
Oh, Scott, sorry, Scott. You came late, I forgot you.
I was
You get-
gonna say,
Aye.
Did you get Gary?
No, did I get Gary? I thought I wrote Gary. Okay, Scott?
I know I'm way out in the purchase, but come on.
Okay,
Hey, you gonna ask me?
once again, I couldn't hear. Scott, are you
Aye.
okay? And I guess Gary's there somewhere?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? There's none opposed. So motion passes. Okay. Next item, park limits. What do you want to do if we have overcrowding during pandemic? I think Sandy wrote some document up. I got an email. I guess everybody else might have gotten an email. And then along the way, I also went down to Lake Zor State Park boat ramp this weekend. Took a picture of that little diagram they have down there. So, what does everybody want to do? Any suggestions?
Well, this is Dave. Half the time they won't listen anyway.
This is Sandy, but I think it's important to have something up there, just so people know that this is what we expect. I'm thinking of a couple of parks that may get overcrowded at some point, and if we can't get people to obey the things that we post, then we might have to do something about it. Now, what that is, it could be closing the park possibly, or just limiting visitors. I don't know. We can approach that. I mean, it may never happen, but we could approach that if we need to. But at least we have something up there that states what we expect people to do.
Scott, they should be staying within the governor's guidelines as for distancing and social distancing and all that's going on. If people aren't doing it, then maybe we gotta shut them down.
This is Dave. I got a big sign when you come in the front door of my shop that masks must be worn. And I'll bet a third of the people look at you like you got three heads when you tell them, where's your mask?
Yeah, this is Sandy again. So I'm just saying that, people may not follow the rules. I think the distancing is the most important when you're outside. But like I said, I think something should go up there. I did put at the bottom of the page, by recommendation of Richmond, at the end, it says, "We hope you can enjoy our parks. We welcome visitors while observing our new normal rules and regulations." So, I'd like to add that on, but with Ed's idea, short and simple and to the point, I think, maybe both of those would be worthwhile, because I know, a Little York doesn't have a kiosk, where that simple sign would probably be beneficial to have at the trailhead. So that's my feeling.
All right, this is Ed. What the state did, that's not, the sign they have, it really wasn't a custom-made sign. It looks like somebody did it on the computer and put in a laminator, and they staple gunned it to a piece of plywood. So I think it was probably done pretty easily. And it's a diagram, mostly a diagram, and then you have to worry about, as you know, there's different languages, and I think a diagram is helpful. Otherwise, you may have to use bilingual languages on the written version. We could do that also, but maybe something simple in a diagram might be helpful too.
This is Dave. What if you put on there, if these guidelines are not adhered to, this park will probably be closed?
Well, I do have, is this Sandy? I do have, if we find that the rules are not followed, the town of Southbury will be closing this park to help protect our citizens. Now, I can make it a little bit more friendly than that, but,
I don't think it should be friendly.
Yeah, you can't, you gotta do it, because you don't know where a lot of these people are coming from. So they screw it up for us, that's what happens, we gotta close it.
so if it's okay with you all, then I think what I'll do is I'll make up this is just a draft sign, the one that I gave you. I'll make up two different signs and, maybe post them both.
I have a question for Betsy. Does the town have a laminator?
I was just gonna tell you, we do, so if you wanna email it to me when you guys decide, I can laminate a bunch of them
Okay.
and have you pick them up, or however you wanna handle it, I can mail them.
Did everybody get that?
Great.
Should we have signs in English and Spanish?
For Little York.
I think the sign that Ed sent to us, I think that's doable for anybody that doesn't speak English.
Actually, I wasn't able to get that, but I think he sent me a folder, but I wasn't able to open it. But no, anyway, no, as long as it's taken care of, I think that's an important point.
So Ed here, as a summary, Sandy will spruce up the signs, email them to Betsy, and Betsy will get them laminated. And when that's done, I guess Betsy will
However you want.
send a note to Sandy to pick them up. Does that sound
This is
like a
San-
plan?
This is Sandy. Do you want all to look, can we all look at it before I actually put them at the parks? Is that a possibility without having a meeting?
I don't think we
Or
need a
does it
meeting
have
because
to be-
because it's, Memorial Day's coming up, so I think it's the next couple of weeks, it'd be great to put them up before Memorial Day.
Okay.
This is Gary.
Okay.
I can come out, help put up a bunch of signs. I've been going by Jamie Pierce because I go by there to work pretty much every day where I'm working, and it's been, people have been, there's been people there, but not enough to overcrowd the park in that situation. But I'll put the signs up.
This is Sandy. Yeah, Gary, I think I'm more worried about the parks in the summertime where there's possible swimming.
Like,
Gary,
it's your-
I agree, that's more of a load.
I don't know if there's much swimming at Janie Pierce, but I know at Little York there is swimming.
And they can't be swimming at Little Noah, Scott.
Yeah. Another location should be done, correct?
So this is Sandy again. So, all right, so then I will, unless you guys need to talk about it some more, I'll put these together and hang them up. And I'll do what you said with Betsy, and we can spread these out. If Gary wants to hang it up at Janie Pierce or whatever, I can just do it too.
This is Scott. Sandy, if you get them, give me a couple for Little Noah and one for Little York. I can bang it right up. It's only down the street.
Okay, great.
Okay, is there anything else on this? Anybody else? Okay, that's the end of the agenda. Anything else to come to the commission? Okay. I need a motion to adjourn.
This is Dave, I make a motion.
Dave made the motion. Second by Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I don't think we need a roll call.